going to be made up of the parts that we talked about last week. Okay, as I mentioned, we talked about points, lines, planes, rays, segments, lots of good stuff last week. So looking at this image of an angle, what does it, because here you can see it's made up of two something with a common endpoint. So if we look at the picture, okay, these two sides, okay, of this angle, okay, meet at point B, right? Point B is their common endpoint. Okay, what are these that are drawn on the sides? Yes. Well, remember, a line has arrows on both sides. Okay, so this one has an arrow on one side and then a common endpoint, an endpoint on one side. Avery? A ray. Good. So we are making up angles from two rays. Okay, so the common endpoint, y'all already said was going to be B. That is the, anybody remember what that's called? Vertex. Been a while. Y'all heard that term before, I'm sure. Okay, the vertex. So B is the vertex of this angle. Okay, the rays we call just the sides of the angle. Okay, and then we name the rays like we did last week. Okay, what would this one in red be called? Okay, so it's definitely got B and A on it. I heard AB and I heard B, I heard A, I heard BA. Who remembers the rules for naming a ray? Yes. It starts with the endpoint, and can I name it just ray B? Can I just use the endpoint? No, it has to have it's got to have 2 points, just like a line has to have 2 points. Can't it be AB? If it was a line, the order wouldn't matter. Or if it was a line segment, the order wouldn't matter. But with array, it has to start with the endpoint. Okay, so this one's going to be BA. That's the only correct way to name that side of the angle. And then remember, the ray symbol always points to the right. Okay, so this other side, I'll highlight it in green. Okay, what could we name that ray? McKenna. Yes, so again, we have to start with B because that's the endpoint, and then it goes through point C. So you always start with the beginning of the ray. Where does the ray start? And then a point that it goes through. So ray BA and ray BC are the sides of this angle. B is the vertex. When we name an angle, we are going to use 3 letters, okay, 3 points. I highly recommend tracing those 3 in the order that you think you're naming them, okay, either with a pencil or just with your finger, and see if you actually trace over the angle that's drawn or the angle that you're trying to name. Because, for instance, if I tried to name this angle ACB and I traced from A to C to B, is that the angle in question? No. Okay, it's going back to connect the dots from when you were little. Like, you're connecting them in letter order instead of connect the dots by numbers that you did when you were a kid. Okay, so trace, connect the dots in the order that you need to know how to name it. So I could go A, B, C, or what? C, B, A. Okay, notice what was in the middle both times. B. B. The vertex has to be the center letter. Okay, so it's always the vertex for the middle letter. Okay, so it's got it named down here. It says angle, the measure of angle ABC is 60. I'm also going to put the measure of angle CBA because you could name it that way as well. Okay, so either way, as long as B is in the middle, and I'll actually make the B blue so it stands out because the vertex is in the middle. Okay, you can use a single letter instead of 3 letters. You can use just the vertex if there's only one angle with that vertex. So in this picture, I can call this angle B because there is no other angle B pictured here. There's only one. Now, when you start having multiple raised segments and lines and intersections, you're not going to be able to do that because there's going to be more than one angle that has B as the vertex. So you have to be more specific. If there is a number, okay, not a measure, okay, this has a degree symbol, right? The 60, that's a degree symbol. 60 degrees, that's a measure. Okay, so you can't name it by its measure. I can't call this angle 60. But sometimes images are going to have number, they'll have like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, just so you know which angle they're referencing. So if this had just a 1 there, I could call this angle 1. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, now types of angles. I think y'all will probably know already and remember this. We'll start with the one I'm positive you'll know, which is, what does that box mean?
Oh, right angle.
Right. Yeah, y'all probably know them all, but I just start with the right because everybody knows a right angle is marked with that box, right? Okay, it's marked with a square because a square has what size angles? Right angles, but what's the measure? What does right mean? 90. Okay, so I'm going to write 90 here. Okay, so a 90-degree angle is marked with a square because a square has 90-degree angles. Okay, and that's called a right angle. It's the corner of your room, however you want to think of it. Okay, now several people already said acute for this first one. Okay, that is what? What's the definition of acute?
Less than
90. Good. Okay, and then the next one? Good. And the definition? Greater than 90. All right, now the last one you may not know. That one is, oh, you did. Y'all did know it.
Straight.
Yeah, it's called a straight angle. Okay, I didn't know if y'all had learned that back in intermediate. It's a straight line. We call it a straight angle. Okay. Now what would the measure there be? 180. Good. Because that's like two 90-degree angles together, or a semicircle, however you want to think of it. So when you are asked a question, if it says name the angle, it actually wants a name with 3 letters, 1 letter, or a number, depending on what's depicted. If it says to categorize or what type of angle, it wants those last 4. Okay, acute, obtuse, right, or straight. Okay, but if it says name, don't tell me acute. Acute is not the name of the angle, it's the type or the category of angle. Everybody good with that? All right, so let's look at the first example. What is the vertex? Y'all can call it out.
Okay.
Okay, so K is the vertex. Okay, so now we need to name the 2 sides, the 2 rays. I am going to color code these again. So let's name the green one here first.
KJ.
KJ. Could I say JK? No. The order matters for a ray. Okay, and then the other side? Good. But notice I start at K, that's the end point, and I go through point L. And the symbol kind of shows you that. We start at K and we go through L. All right, 3 ways to name this angle.
Okay.
I could just do 1 letter because there's only 1 angle with the vertex K. So I could just say angle K, JKL. Good. And just backward, LKJ. But K is always the middle because it's the vertex. Now classify, that's the type.
Obtuse.
That is obtuse. All right, what is the vertex in example 2? Okay, and let's name this red side. Because 2 letters, that could name a line, a ray, a segment. You have to have the symbol to know what we're naming, what it is. It's ray, ST. Okay, and the green side, SR. All right, now 3 ways to name this angle. Yep, F, just, we could name it with just the vertex. How else? Yep, I could go right to left, TSR, or left to right, RST. Could I say TRF? No. Could I say RTS? No. S, the vertex, has to be in the middle. Okay, and there's a marking on that angle that tells us what?
It's 90 degrees.
It's a right angle. Good, 90-degree angle. Questions so far? We feel okay about naming angles?
Yeah.
Okay, so congruent means what?
If they're
Equal. Congruent means equal. So equal, you know what an equal sign looks like. Now, we're technically, I'm going to put a couple things under here. It means equal measure. So when we talk, actually, you know, I'm going to go back a sec to the top because I think I might have skipped that bullet point. When referring to the measure of an angle, we use a lowercase m. Okay, so this little m in front of those means the measure. So if I'm reading this, it says the measure of angle ABC is 60 degrees. Okay, so that little m just means measure. Okay, we know the size, the actual number of degrees. We'll put that m and an equal sign and we'll put what it measures. Okay, so it means congruent means equal measure. Okay, so I'm going to say for this picture, I've got, we'll name them, well, we can only name them with one letter because they only labeled the vertex. So we've got angle A, which is 75, and angle B, which is 75. So I'm going to say the measure of angle A equals the measure of angle B. So anytime that's true, if the angle measure for 2 angles is equal, or more than 2, it's fine as well. But if the angle measure is equal, then the angles are congruent. So the way we write a congruent statement just looks slightly different. We don't have to write the M. We don't have to say the measure. We can just say angle A is congruent to, and then the congruent symbol is the equal sign with the squiggle above it, angle B. So if the measure of angle A equals the measure of angle B, then angle A is congruent to angle B. That's our if then, our conditional statement. Feel okay about that? Easy peasy, right? All right, now I am going to try something because I had some people still not able to get into our Delta Math, setting it up the way that I did. Another teacher showed me that we can integrate Canvas and Delta Math. So like I can create the Delta Math through Canvas and you can get to them there without having to join a class. So I want you to get your laptops out and try this for me. Yeah. Yeah. So go to your Canvas. You're going to go to your Canvas page, home page here. I'll wait a sec for y'all to get logged in into this page. And then we're going to test something. I'll look into that. I put attendance in it. Okay, because like I obviously.
So it might just be. So I want to be. Hey. So the first one. I guess you never did. So that's yeah.
All right, is everybody there? Canvas? All right, so when you get to Canvas, all right, y'all stop talking so everybody can hear the instructions. You're gonna click on the My Learning. You go to My Learning. Okay, and you'll notice that for, oh, I put the wrong date on it here. Hang on. You'll see this assignment, but let me edit it. No, that was just, did I not embed it here? Maybe I just didn't add it here. Give me a sec. I just was playing with it this morning. Okay, it's under assignments. So let me just add it there so that it's in the Unit 1 module. Sorry, I thought I had it in the same spot. Let me put it here. Okay. Okay, so now you should see it. If you refresh your screen and you should see today's date and it says naming angles practice. Okay, so I want y'all to try clicking there. And I'm not sure what it looks like from the student side. If it automatically opens another window and takes you to Delta Math.
Yeah.
It did? Okay. It's just embedding it. But it opens a new window for you. Okay. Okay. John, did it work for you?
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's supposed to open a separate window, and I wasn't sure because this is the first time I'm doing it this way, embedding it here. I don't know if it takes you to the Delta Math website or if it just has it embedded in the Canvas page.
Is it like it takes you to different websites? Like
I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to do. I've never done it.
it just takes you to the Delta Math website.
Okay.
And then if you
because the reason I'm trying this is because doing it this way, y'all don't have to have a class code. Anybody who's in my Canvas can get to the assignment. Because I had several people Friday when we were setting up Delta Math, they couldn't remember their password, or they couldn't get logged in, or it wouldn't load, or it wouldn't let them do the join code. There were several different issues. So doing it this way, you don't have to sign into Delta Math. You don't have to have a join code. You just click this link to get to the assignment. And you're already enrolled in my Canvas, so it's already connected to your name. Does that make sense? Okay, so I think this is what we'll do, since seems to be working for everybody. Y'all were my guinea pigs today. So that's what we'll do. If you already did Friday's Delta Math, with that account we set up, you're fine. I'll go get the grade from there and put it into Skyward. And then I'm going to archive that class and we won't see it anymore because I'll just want you to have the one. No, I'll copy it over like this for people who haven't done it yet.
Okay, when will that be?
However many days. So it was due today for them. So it'll be due tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do it right now. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop this video now that I showed those instructions.